Existential crisis.
Unlike anything the world has ever seen.
We need to take action.
Everyone has to stand up.
The warning is not a new one.
Our world faces a triple planetary crisis of climate change, nature loss and pollution.
For generations, humanity, often without realizing it, has been destroying the natural world. In the name of progress, we have polluted the Earth's oceans, chopped down its forests and clouded its skies. Today, nature and our own survival rest on a knife's edge.
It's time to ratchet up the action that we need to have at the country level.
The United Nations Environment Programme was established with one goal in mind: to unite the world in saving our planet.
It is clear that the environmental crisis which is confronting the world will profoundly alter the future destiny of our planet.
For 5 decades, UNEP has used science and its mandate to bring the world together to help nations find solutions to grave environmental threats.
What is this pollution that we have heard so much about?
The Mediterranean is sick. It's being poisoned slowly but steadily for those who need it most.
The 1970s found a world grappling with an unprecedented crisis of pollution. Could the seemingly irreparable damage be undone? UNEP inspired the world to take action, preventing oil spills and toxic discharge by ships, uniting 143 coastal states to limit ocean pollution and save marine life, reducing air pollution and ending the scourge of acid rain. But soon, the world would face its biggest environmental challenge yet.
The destruction of the ozone layer on a global scale is no longer just a theory. The hole over the Antarctica is no longer an isolated seasonal phenomenon.
If the breach continued to grow, the planet would suffer lethal levels of ultraviolet radiation, harming human health, biodiversity, and climate. In 1987, UNEP facilitated the Montreal Protocol. Over 30 countries agreed to phase out the production of almost 100 ozone-depleting substances. The protocol remains one of the greatest achievements of multilateralism.
All nations gathered here to be proud of what we have achieved.
This success set the tone for a series of powerful accords, limiting the movement of toxic waste across borders, protecting the Earth from dangerous, long-lasting chemicals, and restricting the international trade in mercury. Most recently, in 2021, UNEP finished a 2-decade-long campaign to rid the world of highly toxic leaded petrol, saving an estimated 1 million lives each year. As the world grappled with pollution and waste, another crisis was brewing.
I have dreamt of seeing the great herds of wild animals, jungles, rivers, full of birds and butterflies. But now I wonder if they will even exist for my children to see.
Poaching and habitat loss were pushing some of the world's most iconic animals to the brink of extinction. Driven by science, UNEP supported a series of international treaties, limiting and in some cases banning the trade of endangered species, safeguarding migratory animals, expanding protected areas, and increasing financing for biodiversity protection. The seminal Earth Summit in Brazil introduced the idea of sustainable development.
This is an historical moment for the mobilization of all peoples of the world.
Over the last 5 decades, UNEP has helped more than 100 countries enshrine the right to a healthy environment in their constitutions and produced scientific studies to guide member states in their decision-making. In 2012, a new international body was established to provide scientific data on biodiversity in a joint effort from UNEP and other UN organizations. In 2019, it found that 1 million species face the threat of extinction, underscoring the urgency to act.
Every action we take alters the earth that future generations will inherit.
The world is starting to recognize the effects of planetary warming, but UNEP began sounding the alarm 3 decades ago. As early as 1988, UNEP and the World Meteorological Organization launched the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. For over 30 years, IPCC science has helped member states counter climate change, earning the body a Nobel Prize for its work. UNEP-backed studies have informed some of the planet's most crucial climate accords. These include a 1992 agreement that set a template for curbing greenhouse gas emissions, followed by the Kyoto Protocol and the landmark 2015 Paris Agreement.
I'm proud to announce that 175 parties have signed the Paris Agreement.
UNEP has also mobilized 450 banks, insurers and investors to help create a more sustainable world.
We don't want fossil fuels.
But in fact, what you and I and other ordinary people around the world can do will not by itself save the natural world. The great decisions, the great disasters that face us can only be dealt with by governments. And that's why this organization is so important.
Over the past 50 years, we've seen when the world decides to act, the world comes together to act. Together with member states and partners, we've achieved a lot. But now is the time to truly make that lift for humanity and to do much more and much faster. And I have every reason to be hopeful. As an organization grounded in science, UNEP will do everything in its power to push for breakthroughs. Our planet and humanity depends on us. Together, we can build a greener and safer and fairer world for all.
All right. A beautiful good morning to you all, and we are super thrilled to have you all here again. Bit by bit, we are gradually coming to the close-up of the Masterclass section, and I can see the energy pouring in as we all are excited for this morning's class. Good morning to you all, changemakers. Wow, well done to you all. I must say congratulations for reaching this stage. Yeah, lots of good morning. Good morning, Abubakar. Good morning, Temitope. Good morning, Christabel Hume. Good morning, Umar. Good morning to everyone. I can see the good morning coming in. It's good to have you all joining today again, and well done for the effort so far. I know that it must have been a whole lot of trying to merge with several activities, but well done to you all. So today, we'll also be having another interesting class today to be taking on innovation and technology for sustainable development. And I'm super thrilled to introduce the speaker that we'll be having for today. So just as we started for the previous masterclass sections, I believe that you're also here to you're here with your notes, you're here with your writing materials to take note of everything that will be taught today. And yes, as usual, please, if you have your fellow change makers not here already, kindly ensure that you prompt them that the class has started. We don't want anyone missing any of the classes. We'll be wrapping up our section soon. Until the final masterclass section, please let's ensure that we follow through to the end. So I'll be introducing Christiana Edeaya Ogaba. who is a results-driven brand manager, designer, and chemical engineer with a strong passion for innovation, technology, and sustainable development. She has over 5 years of experience working at the intersection of creativity and strategy, as well as leveraging design, storytelling, and digital tools to create impactful solutions that empower brands and organizations to thrive in today's fast-evolving world. As the brand manager of Innov8 Hub, she plays a key role in shaping how innovation is communicated, embraced, and scaled for real-world impact. Also, she has, beyond her professional work, she mentors young creatives and innovators, championing communication, design, and storytelling as powerful drivers of positive change. So join me to make welcome Christiana Ediaya Ogagba, the brand manager for Innov8 Hub, who will be taking us through the topic innovation and technology for sustainable development. I'll be handing it over. So kindly make a warm welcome in the chat, send your welcome in as we go through the class now. Over to you, Christiana. Thank you. Sorry, is Miss Christiana on the call?
Hello, can you hear me?
Okay, yes, please.
Can you see my screen as well?
But I think the volume might be a bit low. I don't know if it's on my hand.
So can you hear me on my screen?
Yet to see your screen, but I think I can hear you.
Okay, it's back now. Is he here now? Hello.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Okay, so can I go on?
Yes, yes. But we are here to see the screen. All right.
But can you see me?
Yes, yes.
All right. I'm not sharing my screen yet, but I will. I just want to start with that light. All right. Good morning, everyone. Good morning once again. Let's begin. Don't mind the network. I hope everyone can hear me and everyone can see my screen. Okay, so we'll be starting now. Please just, if you can hear me, give me the emoji or something. I don't know. Just a sign that you can hear me because I think the network is a bit shaky. All right. Please, can you hear me? I've not gotten any confirmation that you can hear me or anything like that.
Yes, but I think, I don't know, the volume might be a bit low, but I can hear you.
My volume?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Let's see what I can do. Okay, I think people online also, they say they can hear me. Said the volume is low. What can I do about this?
So the feedback from the chats from participants, they can see you, hear you, but the volume is quite low. So maybe you can project that better.
Okay, I'll try to project, maybe just talk on top of my voice. I don't know if this is better. Is this better?
Yeah, I think it's much better.
Okay, this is much better, right? So I think I'll project more. I think that's where the issue is. My voice is low, so I'll project more. Okay, if this is better, then let me just go back to sharing my screen so we can continue. All right. Hello, everyone. Can we hear me clearly now? I'm talking on top of my voice. I don't know what's wrong with the sound, but I really want you to be able to hear everything I have to say today. So I'm talking on top of my voice. So can you hear me, everyone?
Yes, you can proceed. Thank you.
All right. Good morning once again. I'll just dive right into today's session, and I love the topic. I love the topic. Anything that has to do with innovation, anything that has to do with technology and sustainable development, I love it because I feel like one of the ways to drive the economy in Nigeria is by paying attention to these two things. Because in a country where innovation is thriving, technology is thriving, we are exporting more because we are making more. Our economy, there's a boost in the economy. There's a boost, the economy becomes better, people have more money to spend, and things like that. But let me start with the truth that I think should disturb all of us, right? We all hold more technology in our pockets than NASA had when they sent a man to the moon. Yet, millions in Nigeria, still have no food, no water, no lights. I mean, just think about it. Think about it for a second. Just, take time out to actually think about it. With our phones, we're able to stream movies, we're able to stream music, we're able to send money across continents, we're able to make a joke trend in minutes. I mean, a lot of us in social media, a lot. And, we still haven't been able to end the problem of hunger. We've not been able to fix education. We still have not been able to protect families, from the flood that wash away their homes, right? And I believe that this is why the SDG exists. This is why the SDG exists. They're not just abstract, UN targets, they are all slogans, things like that. They're a call to action. And it's born out of human suffering, designed to remind us that we cannot remain silent when we have the tools to act. I personally believe that we have everything we need to carry it out. The problem is the advocacy. The problem is the people. The problem is the coming together to actually do what we need to do, right? So today we're not going to be talking about goals, just the goals. We're going to be talking about responsibility. Your responsibility, my responsibility, to turn innovation and technology into weapons for justice, and not just for tools for convenience, making jokes and doing things like that, it's going to be used for what it is meant to be used for. So let's go on. Let's go on. Innovation and technology for sustainable development. I still remain Christiana Ogapa, and I'm speaking from Innov8 Hub. Sorry for all those, from Innov8 Hub. So before we dive deep into, I always like to talk about our mission and vision, with respect to sustainability, because I feel like our vision aligns with the holistic goals of the SDG goals, right? So we have a vision to nurture, a vision to nurture a future where communities drive innovation, create sustainable solutions, very important, and drive sustainable solutions and improve lives, accelerate socio-economic growth across Africa. Our mission, how do we plan to do this? How do we plan to create that sustainable solutions for the future? By empowering individuals, organizations, communities to localize innovation, scale homegrown solution through fostering creativity, innovation, entrepreneurship support, technology availability, mentorship, provision of human capital development, and commercialization pathways that turn ideas into inventions, goods, and services. And by the way, Innov8 Hub is a non-for-profit organization, but we partner with a lot of other organizations to actually achieve our mission, in process of working towards our vision. So that's it about it. So I would say we are the biggest innovation hub in Nigeria, and innovation is not just our watchword, it's we live and breathe innovation. For people that have been to the hub during their study tour, they can, attest to that. But let's go to what is today. So on the table of contents, we're talking about what we mean by innovation and technology, our everyday innovations, things that we do, that has happened around us across the country that we have not really paid attention to, why we should support innovation and technology, problems that brought about the SDGs, Nigeria's progress since 2015 up until now, the awareness of SDG, solutions using innovation and technology to drive the SDGs, and then action, you are the change. So let's dive deep. What do we mean by innovation and technology? Innovation is something that we've been hearing, something that we just threw here and there. Technology as well. While we actually sat down to look at it objectively and try to understand what we mean when we say innovation, right? So innovation is just finding a new way to do something. It could be a product, it could be a process, it could be service, it could be a model. It could be a business model. It could be you're rendering a service in a new way, in such a way that it's actually solving a problem. It could be a process, production process, a manufacturing process, streamlining it, making it easier and not as tedious as it usually is. It could be a product. Because most of the people hear innovation, you have to actually be making something, or and also it's just a new way of doing something, of improving something, of making it better, solving a problem. Like I'll always say that it is not innovation if it does not meet. There are 3 or 4 of the characteristics. One, if it is not novel, if it's not new, or an improvement of an already existing process or product or service or a model, right? And if there's no value creation involved, if it's not solving a problem, it's not an innovation. Problem solving, it's more like the fuel of innovation. Without problems in the society, I don't think there's innovation. Because look at every innovation that we have come in contact with, it's most likely solving a problem. It has to be solving a problem. It's always solving a problem. Think about any innovation. Think about it. And it has to be, it has to have practical application as well. But every innovation usually solving a problem. So without problems in the society, there won't be need for innovation, because everything is easy. It's easy breezy. We're doing what we need to do, right? So yeah, problems are at the kind of the foundation of what led to innovation. So I'll go again. It's the introduction of a new or improved product, a process, a service, or a model that is made available to users to create measurable value. Like I said, it could be social, could be economic, it could be environmental, and solve the problem. Solving the problem is actually very, 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 very important. And then technology. This is I'm a chemical engineer, by by profession. That was I studied in school. I may not be practicing so much, but this innovation space has kind of opened my eyes to a lot of things. Technology is derived from two words. They are Greek words. The first is technique, then the second is logia. I know a lot of us have not actually taken time off to look at it, but if you check your dictionary, you see that it's derived from two words, technique and logia. Technique, which means, craft or art, and then logia, which means discussion. So it's like you're saying art discussions or art and craft discussions, which gives birth to the word technologia, right? I know a lot of us would have seen that video online where the guy pressed the button and shouting, technologia, technologia. So yeah, it's a Greek word for technology. Technologia is the Greek word for technology. So if you look at those two words, art and craft discussions, that was like the birth of technology, right? So if any tool or system or technique, so that we see the word technique comes in again, right? That enables people to apply knowledge, could be scientific, or most likely is most times, knowledge to solve a problem. Anything that allows people to use their knowledge to solve a problem. Examples of technologies around us today. I mean, we have AI, we have 3D printing, we have a lot of things happening here and there. We have the internet that's even helping us talk to each other. I mean, I'm speaking from Abuja. There are a lot of us connecting from different parts of Nigeria and maybe outside Nigeria. We have the YouTube now that even after this session, there's access for people to actually come back and see what we discussed today, right? So I think it's wonderful, and if we harness the power of innovation and technology, we can do so much. There is so much we can do. Innovation is not just new tech. It's not just like, okay, anything that's new, improved, or it's anything that is new or improved, gets used and then derives value, right? Derives value from it. Technology is just the practical two-step. It's just the tools available for us to use, to drive that innovation. So, and I try to highlight innovation plus technology for sustainable development. The purposeful use of innovation and technology to accelerate progress. Using innovation and technology to accelerate progress, on the sustainable development goals, while prioritizing inclusion, resilience, and environmental limits. It's very important that as we try to innovate, as we try to use technology and innovation to drive this SDG, that we pay attention to people, to inclusion, to resilience, to environmental limits, because it's when technology is not controlled, that's when we have a lot of misuse of technology. It can be misused, so that's one of the reasons why it needs to be in the right hands, because it can be misused, right? Everyday technology in Nigeria is one of the necessity, so it can be used, it can be misused, right? So without equity, tech can widen inequality. We know that. Without sustainability, the tech can create a new harm, right? So one of the reasons why we need to pay attention to our environment. So let's go on to everyday innovation in Nigeria, local solution, and global lessons. Everyday innovation in Nigeria is often born out of necessity. Think of how local artisans repair electronics with improvised tools, or how young people repurpose keke, tricycles, to transport patients in rural areas when they don't have like ambulances to take people here and there, So when we combine simple technology with entrepreneurial drive, these ideas can scale fast, can do a lot, for us. Take our mobile payments, for example. I don't know Paga. I know a lot of us know Paga. If you don't know Paga, you can research it before the end of today. Paga started as a grassroots solution for the unbanked, right? And in Nigeria, for the unbanked in Nigeria. So today, fintech platforms like Opay, PalmPay, they process billions in transactions and employ thousands and thousands of people, right? So that's an innovation. That is brilliant. That's a good use of technology. That is good use of, solving a problem, because we have the unbanked that, before now, they couldn't have this access that Opay has given to them. I mean, I was at the what's it called? Buffy Awards for banks and other financial institutions in Lagos last year, and Opay, took the best digital banking, and I was like, yeah, they deserve it, because they've even solved a key problem for the banks. Because who would have thought that with just your mobile phone number, you can open an account and you can start using it? Our normal commercial banks think that's much more difficult for them, because I mean, how many of them will need to leave their villages, and all guys coming to town to do all of it's a hustle. So they've been able to do that. They were able to do that, and and even our creative industry today, right? Our creative industry has shown the same pattern. Nollywood and Afrobeat, grew from small scale communities and production to global cultural exports. Now we have the likes of the Burna Boy, that are now international, stars, kind of. So this grassroots innovation is moving to national and national impact, right? So like I said here, grassroots ingenuity. Nigerians are improvising every day, and you guys can agree with me that even in your day-to-day activity, in your offices, in your school, when you are faced with a challenge, you try to find a way around it. You're trying to find how to achieve that without the necessary equipment or the necessary tools. That is innovation. Now, this innovation just has to be backed by technology. Every day we innovate. So every time you're faced with a problem and then you find another way and you still get the same results, you innovate. What you did was, innovating to solve a problem, right? So yes, and then we have tech-enabled scale, like I spoke about, the Paga, the PalmPay, that started as local banking, and then today, I mean, millions use them for transactions, savings, and bill payments. Sustainable models, pay as you go, solar. Someone hear me? Hello, can anyone hear me?
Sorry, I think the network was a
Hello?
glitch.
Hello, can anyone hear me now?
Yes,
Hello?
yes.
You can hear me? Okay. I think the network, okay, I'm even seeing online people complain that the network is bad. I don't know where it's from my end or generally. I'm so
We can
sorry.
hear you.
Okay, can hear me now? All right. Okay, so I think I can go on now. All right. So yeah, so speaking to our everyday innovation. So innovation is the spark. Innovation is the spark. Technology is just the engine, You see, but equity and sustainability are the steering wheel. Without those, the vehicle may speed up or take us where we don't want to go to. So as we try to innovate, as we try to use technology to drive change, we also need to pay attention to equity and sustainability. Because I mean, tech can create new harm. We've all heard of e-waste, overconsumption, things like that. So yes, and that's why we need to be involved. We need to be involved, right? We need to be fully, involved in what is happening. So technology and innovation, the combination, the reason why it's so powerful for the SDGs, because they accelerate solutions. They help accelerate solutions in the environment. Innovation will always find new ways of solving old problems, or maybe making, and the right technology will make those solutions scalable. So as you work in your place of work or in school or wherever you are innovating. What now makes whatever innovation that you have been able to do scalable is technology. So without technology, it's not scalable. It means everything is still manual. It means everything is still mechanical. It's still rigid. But with technology, it can scale. It can scale. Really fast. The example is just we have. I don't know any of us of e-health platforms in Nigeria. Like the Helium Health. I'm not trying to advertise them, but to see now they digitalize hospital records. So all those waiting time and then all of that, you have to go, let's take your file from here to here, cut away. So everything is digital now. Combination of innovation and technology breaks barrier access. If you combine innovation when combined with tech when combined with equity ensures that the marginalized groups are not left behind. It ensures that the marginalized groups are not left, they're not left behind. The example is the mobile money. I give an example of Paga and that. So that is a good. So that's why equity is very important. If not, if technology gets into the wrong hands, like I said, a lot of things can happen. Things can go wrong. I promise you, a lot of things, can go wrong. The combination of innovation and technology can make development more efficient and transparent, right? Can make development more efficient and transparent. Data-driven tools. Data is key. I mean, I feel like without, not even I feel, that's what it is. Without data, there are some certain decisions that cannot be taken. Policies, a lot of things, affect decision making, and data is one key thing. So data-driven tools can help track the SDG process, reduce corruption, guide resources. Because now there are some funds that are released here and there, okay, climate this, climate that. But because of corruption and things like that, some of the funds don't even get to where they're supposed to get to. Now that's technology being used, wrongly. They unlock local creativity for global impacts. So grassroots innovations can become models for other regions if scaled sustainably. Sustainability is still the key word here because, like I said, a lot of things can actually go wrong if not paid attention to. And then the future-proof society. When sustainability is built in, technology and innovation help nations adapt to, climate change, energy transitions, and changing demographics. A lot of things are happening around us now, a lot of things that I spoke, about. But let's just go next slide. So why support innovation? Why support innovation? Why should you support innovation? What should you watch out for? What are the things that you need to look out for? Why should you support innovation? Let's go. So as advocates for SDGs, our role is simple. I say our because I'm also part of it, right? Our role is simple: to amplify the benefits while managing risk. Because like I always say that everything that has an advantage has a disadvantage. So as we amplify the benefits, of making SDGs a household name, we also have to learn to manage the risks that come with all of this. Because when there's a combination of innovation and tech, there is a lot of potential risk, coming up. I think somebody's complaining. Can they hear me? Somebody's saying network problem. Please, can you hear me? All right, thank you very much. So yes, we amplify the benefits, we need to manage the risk, right? Tech can be dramatically, it can extend reach, and efficiency, but it's not neutral. It's not neutral. Who designs, who owns and controls the tech really, really matters. Because now the person can use it for bad, can use it for good. It's a tool that in the right hands can do so much more, and in the wrong hands, it's disastrous, right? So we need to work on on access, the work on data governance, because there's a lot of, you can misuse data, capacity building, local adaptation, means that ends, right? Their power for the SDG actually depends on inclusion, good governance, local ownership. That's local ownership. So as I think we need to prioritize solutions that are affordable, accountable, and adaptable. Right? Affordable, accountable, and adaptable. So I try to highlight some benefits. Let me go through my slides so it doesn't look like I'm just here and there. It's the benefits of when we support innovation. What are the benefits? Faster progress towards goals. Faster progress towards goals. See, innovative solution, digital tools, it's just fast. But even in this fast, reach, more solutions here and there, we have the downside of it too as well. We have wider inclusion, low cost, frugal innovation, expand access to undeserved communities. This is what innovation and tech can do for you. Empowered communities, the grassroots innovation strengthens local ownership and capacity, right? Data for decision making. I said it earlier. Data, there is nothing you see. Data is key at this point. Data is key because technology provides, evidence and metrics to help track, what are we doing, what have we been able to do in the past X, Y, Z years. How is this solution? How is this initiative, actually impacting the people that it's meant for, or is it just another slide in another UN conference, stuff like that? Job creation and economic growth, job creation and economic, because as new inventions come into the communities, into our society, right, we will still need skilled people to push it. We still need to employ, there's this talk of AI wants to take your job, AI wants to take our job, I'd always say for like in a place like Africa where they don't even have our data, we don't pay attention to data here, right? And because we don't pay so much attention to data, the AI that's take your job, or it doesn't even have enough information on, Africans, on Nigerians, there's not enough information when it comes to data. So nobody's coming to take your job. Instead, the people that use AI will take your jobs. The people that use AI will take your job. AI will take your job. So you need to learn how to use AI to make your work easy, to carry out tasks efficiently, and all of that. The talk is not about AI, so let's not, dive deep into this. So the key lesson here is that we have to advocate for inclusion. We have to advocate for governance. We have to advocate for local capacity and monitoring. Those are the things to advocate for, because like I said, technology has here and there. So we have to be very careful, even as we are advocating for innovation and tech. There is the other side of it, which I try to highlight here as challenges. The first one I said, digital device. unequal access to internet devices and skills can deepen inequality. We are even saying it here today as we are on the call. Some people will say, I can hear you. Some people are saying, I can't hear you. Some people are saying, go on, carry on, I can, it's fine. While people will say, I'm struggling. That's the number one thing, because now this program has been made available for youth to be part of. So imagine people that are even in rural areas that want to enjoy this, that want to be part of this now. Things like unequal access to internet can be a huge barrier. Okay, so these are the challenges that we have, even in as much as we try to drive change, and things like that. High initial cost and sustainability. Innovative solutions may need heavy upfront investment and can struggle to scale without funding. These are the disadvantages that we have. Issues that come up. Governance and ethical risk of misuse, data privacy, surveillance, or biased algorithms. I mean, a lot of people that are very active in social media, Instagram, Meta as the ecosystem, would always say, the algorithm is doing this, the algorithm is doing that. Of course, these are things that tend, to come up. These are things that we need to find a way to, use and find our ways around it, because really, I mean, Meta is a business. I do digital marketing. I talk to my client. I tell them that Meta is a business, and if you want sales, Meta wants people to remain longer. They want people to spend longer time on their own platform, which is Meta, which is Facebook, which is Instagram, which is this. So if you run an ad and then your ad is diverting people to your website, or is taking them out of the context of that system, there is very high chance that the algorithm will definitely, even as you're paying for ads, will not really work in your favor. Do you understand? Because of course, Meta is a business. We need to first understand that. I tell people when I want to run ads for them, Meta is a business. So if you think like that, try to put yourself in Mark's shoes. What is he thinking? And all of that. So yeah. So but tech production, let's unintended consequences, e-waste, environmental impact. Yes, environmental impact of tech production, or we are enforcing exclusion of marginalized groups. I'm going to dwell on environmental impact of tech production, because you see, even as tech plus innovation is solving problems, like I said, if we're not careful, that's why we also need to, as we amplify the benefits, as we push for the benefits, as we say, if you give us X, Y, Z, you can be able to do ABC, right? We also need to find a way to manage risk, because there's always a risk attached. Environmental impact of tech production. You see, the tech production impacts the environment, right? Through depletion of natural resources, energy consumption, leading to greenhouse, gas emissions, climate change. I mean, you can see the climate has changed so much that the periods that rain fall, it's kind of, the sun shines, it's like it's hotter than normal. The floods come like they are very angry. That's climate change, and it's our doing. Because there are some things we release into the atmosphere when it affects the ozone layer. A lot of things are changing. A lot of things are changing. So yes, we have water pollution from chemical processes. So yes, we've built plants. We've said, okay, technology is doing X, Y, Z. Now, managing the waste that comes from it's also a problem. And then it's messing up our water and our ecosystem. Ecosystem damage, including deforestation, and habitual destruction, habitat destruction rather, and the creation of mountains of electronic waste, e-waste, containing toxic materials. So this, the impacts on the environment too. So that, like I said initially, as we amplify the benefits, as we say, okay, this is what can happen, that's what can happen, let's always keep the risk in mind, and also pay attention to it, because that's also something we need to also pay attention to. These are also the things we need to pay attention to. There's also sound pollution. Thank you. Somebody said sound and air pollution. Yes, sound and air pollution. It's a lot. It's a lot. So as we advocate, as we push, as we amplify, tech innovation can do X, Y, Z. It is our duty to also know that these are the potential risks. And we need to manage it. We need to learn how to manage it because it is causing, a lot of harm in our, environment as well. I want to ensure that I'm able to deliver and I can see that time is fast spent. So the problems are here. Problems are brought about the SDGs. I don't know if we have been able to, read in depth about that, but problems are brought about the SDG. So poverty and hunger, inequality in education and health, climate and environmental crisis, inequality and fight societies, infrastructure and energy gaps. So 2015, I think, UN Development Summit, New York, that's when it was, so they agreed upon by, I think 193 member states, I can't really remember, of the UN, and then the SDG came into effect 2016, I'm not sure, but they should hold me by do your research. Yes. They designed it as a 15-year agenda. So 2016 to 2030, right? 2030. The SDGs are the ones that succeeded the MDGs. I hope we know that the MDGs before the Millennium Development Goals, before we now, and that ran from 2000 to 2015. Yes, so 2015 was, I think, when the SDGs, was, vetted. So I think from 2000 to 2015, we had the Millennium Development Goals. Stay with me, let's pay attention. I feel like before you can advocate for something, you need to understand where you're coming from. You need to understand the why. When you understand the why, you'll be able to know how to push it extensively. Understand the why. So from 2000 to 2015, we had 8 global goals. 8 global goals focused on reducing poverty, hunger, diseases, and all of that. What were their success? There was reduction in extreme poverty, improved access, better. But what was the limitation? The limitation was that it was too narrow. It was uneven. They left out inequality. It was not inequality. Climate and sustainability. So that was where the world now realized that okay, progress was not just enough. And then in 2015 they launched the SDG. They launched the SDG. So 193 countries, I think, agreed on a universal agenda for all nations. So 2016 to 2030, that is the Sustainable Development Goals, and that's 2030 is not far. We are in 2025, and if you check the metrics, of what the goals are compared to where we are now, especially in Nigeria, we are all Nigerians here, I think. I like to assume, or we live in Nigeria rather. So I would say that you can see that a lot still has to be done. We still have a lot to be done, and we just have 5 years. Yes, if we all unite and we can, a lot can still be done in 5 years. But if you look at the metrics, a lot compared to the promise that was made, in 2015, a lot still has to be done. So yeah, the 17 interconnected goals, 169 targets, broader scope: poverty, inequality, climate, peace, prosperity, and sustainability. Peace, prosperity, and sustainability. So what is the guiding principle? Leave no one behind. So the SDGs were born out of crisis, suffering, a world where hunger stole children's future, where millions died from preventable diseases, where floods, droughts destroyed livelihood, and where inequality silenced opportunity. In 2015, the world said, okay, no more, we don't want this. The SDG are humanity's collective promise. It's not just a goal. Pay attention. It's not just a goal, it's a promise to heal these wounds, to build a future where no one is left behind. Again, where no one is left behind, right? Imagine billions being spent on education, yet the child in Borno is still under a tree, no books. Imagine climate funds. Yes, a whole village, maybe somewhere in Barasa is still underwater. Imagine energy pledges here and there, yet in many towns, people still sleep in darkness, no lights. So yeah, why is it that technology is everywhere? It's in our hand, it's in our pockets. We can make jokes go viral in a few minutes, and yet the SDG is it's still not a household language in Nigeria. That's where you come in. That's where I come in. That's where you come in. That's where I come in. Social media can spread gossip like very fast, in a few minutes here and there, but not the SDG. Fintechs, all the digital apps, they thrive more in cities and urban areas than, but SDG literacy in rural areas, there is still a bit of lack here and there. We're doing a lot, but there's still a bit of lack. So these are things that we need to look forward. Technology has broken a lot of barriers, I would like commerce and entertainment and this and that. But you see, there is no enough for sustainability awareness. There are some of us that are on LinkedIn, there are some of us that are on TikTok, we do a lot of content and all. Have we ever sat back to say, okay, as an advocate, let me push these goals? I mean, you can never know, it can trend. We don't want to leave anyone behind. So yeah, it can trend. So these are the problems. In a few more minutes. Poverty and hunger, SDG 1 and 2. In 2015, people were living in extreme poverty. I don't want to bore you with metrics here and there, but we know what the challenges are. We know of the inequality, in education and health. We know of what climate is doing to us and the environmental crisis. We know of the inequality. Can we hear me now, please? Hello? Can anyone hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, because I think I saw some of them.
Yes, please. The network is. Oh, yeah. Yes, we can hear me. Yes.
All right. So let's go on to Nigerians' progress since. Sorry, excuse me. All right, so let's go on to Nigerians' progress since 2015, the wins and the gap. I have just 3 more minutes, so I will try to be as quick as possible. If you look at poverty / multidimensional poverty, SDG 1, about 63% of Nigerian population are still multidimensionally poor. 40% of Nigerians still live below the national poverty line. Some poverty reduction in certain regions, / states, but highly uneven. What are the gaps? / challenges? The level of poverty is still high, but many are vulnerable to falling back into poverty due to shock, economic, climate, conflict. If you look at education, primary school attendance, rose from 60.9% in 2016 to 68.4% in 2021. That's a try. That's a good one. But secondary school attendance barely improved. So we still have a lot of work to do. In fact, it declined. It declined from minus 46.9% to 46.7% in the same period. So quality education still remains weak. Large number of children do not receive basic literacy or numeracy. Government funding is still far below what is needed. I'm trying to breeze through here. If you look at the health and maternal child mortality, under 5 mortality has decreased 132 deaths per 1,000 live births in 2018. Oh wow, it's a lot. It's a lot. So I want to breeze through this place because of time and go into the awareness. Let's go into awareness. So yeah, globally, surveys have shown that more than half of the people have never heard of the SDG in Nigeria. Yes. So surveys have shown that more than half people have never heard of the SDG in Nigeria. Just imagine, like 1 in 4 people have never heard. 1 in 4. Only about 1 in 10 can explain what the goals are. And if you think about it, check it. There are a lot of people that say, okay, SDG goals, SDG goals. You can ask them, can you tell us 3 of the goals? Can you tell us 4? They really don't know. They know the sustainable development goals and all of that, but do they really know what the goals are about? Do they really know that, this is a promise that was made because of this need and that need? Are they really aware, of this? So there's, in that awareness part, there's a lack there. You can see it, that there is lack, because a lot of people are not even aware of what's happening. You'd be surprised when we say rural areas, even here in the urban, areas, there's still a lot of people that are not aware. So since 2015, a lot of funds have been poured into the SDG-related programs. A lot of funds have been poured into, but still at the grassroots, a market woman in Kogi has probably never heard of the SDG-1, no poverty. A fisherman somewhere in Bayelsa is still, losing his home to flood and doesn't know that SDG-13, adheres to climate action. He's not even aware, so he can't even hold the government accountable for so many things. A student in Sokoto is still struggling to stay in school and doesn't know quality education. So you see these goals, like what I said there. So whose goals are these really? It's a very, very valid question. Whose goals are these? Are they just global signatures or PowerPoint slides, at UN conference? These are things that we need to talk about. These are the hard truths that we need to talk about. Let's go on. So we have social media, because social media is a tool that can be used in a wrong. Talk is here again. Okay. Social media is a tool that can be used for good and for bad. It can be used both ways, right? You see a lot of people dancing on TikTok, a lot of people, posting their business and all that, which is good. A lot of things are happening. Social media has made, access to different people across, the country and across the continent. It has made it easy, right? But do you know that with the same social media, with that same TikTok, with that same Instagram, with that same Facebook, you can spread the gospel of the SDGs and it can become a household name? You can. It just depends, like I said, you have the tech and everything. It depends on how you use it. People need to become more aware. So the time you spend dancing and doing a lot of things on social media can be put into good use. You have a lot of things. People don't want to, get involved in what is happening, but they are not aware. They are not aware of what is happening. They don't know. So I'm going to ask you this question. How do we make sure that the SDGs are not just PowerPoint slide at UN conferences, but a household conversation in Boko, in Kano, in Aba, in Maiduguri? How do we make sure they reach the grassroots where they matter the most? That's what brings us to the solutions, using innovation and technology to drive the SDG, Let's go on. So we have the tools, we have the innovation, we have the technology. But the truth is, technology has not always been used wisely, There's been misuse here and there, underused, or even wasted. So if we can use technology to sell products, spread gossip, yes, make memes, a lot of us, funny memes, that can go viral. Why can't we use it, to propagate the gospel of the SDGs, ending hunger, teaching children, preparing communities? Somebody says my voice is low. Preparing communities for climate change. Example of misuse, fake news, misinformation on social media, misinformation and fake news is something that, entertainment overload, digital divide that we spoke about, and all of that. So I try to highlight here, use tech for awareness. Local language podcasts, there's a lot of podcasts here and there, but I don't think I'm aware of anyone that's strictly SDG, talking about what it is, and pushing it. For our mobile phones, WhatsApp campaign, storytelling skits on TikTok and Instagram. We watch a lot of funny skits, a lot of skits that are related to, in short, people have gotten so creative these days that some skits, you sit down and say, how did they even think about this? But here we have the SDG goals that can be propagated, we can push, we can use skits to tell the story too, and people will get the message. Use tech for education. Low e-cost learning platform for us, use it to educate people that need to be educated. Solar powered digital classroom for communities, and then, on-grid. Use tech for agriculture and hunger reduction. There are a lot of farmers, that can use the apps, for weather, pricing, storage solution. We built a drone here in Innov8 Hub that helps scare birds, It makes these very loud voices that when you fly the drone across your farm, it causes the birds around there to migrate. That is using tech for agriculture. This is just small compared to the work that needs to be done. This is just very little compared to the work that has to be done. We can use drones, IoT for monitoring the soil, crops, food-prone areas. So these are the things we need to advocate for, right? Using tech for health, telemedicine, to reach rural clinics, AI-powered diagnosis, using tech for climate and energy, renewable mini grids, early warning systems for flood. I mean, if we have those warning systems, it can help people to eradicate the environment quickly before the flood. So these things that are small as it is, a lot can be done. A lot can be done. We have a lot. Use tech for accountability. Very, 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 very important. Accountability, because now if funds is allocated and then it's diverted somewhere else, let's say funds are allocated for things, GoFundMe projects and things like that, and then it's diverted and all of that. You see, the goal now, the goal is just, it's not achievable anymore because now corruption has come, right? So use tech for accountability. There's a document that I would share later. It has to do with I think the UN use of innovation to curb security and then corruption. It's a very rich document. I think you all should need to help. So these are the things you can use innovation and technology to do, right? Let's move very briefly. So technology is not neutral. Technology is not neutral. It reflects what we choose to do with it. If we can use technology to make gossip and the rest of them, I know that there's a lot of things we can also, use it to do. Innovation and technology, when used with equity and sustainability in mind, are not just tools. Let me take it again. Innovation and technology, when used with equity and sustainability in mind, they are not just tools, right? They're not just tools. They are weapons for justice. they become weapons for the voiceless, to bridge the gap, from the grassroots. They can be used to do a whole lot, right? So here I try to align that you are the change. If you are listening to me, repeat after me and say, I am the change. Yes, you are the change. Let me remind you, I'm rounding up now. My time is fast spent. You are the change. Let me remind you of something. Technology is not the change. Technology is not the change. Innovation is not the change. You are the change. These tools are not just weapons in your hands that you can, they are weapons that can be used for good, or for evil. Same social media that can spread awareness about clean water can also spread lies. Same innovation that can give children e-learning can also be misused for greed and corruption. Let's not forget, technology without the right people becomes dangerous. That's why we need people like you. You are the change. You are the one that can push. You're the one that can advocate. You're the one that can drive policies, by being very vocal about these things, right? So if you stay silent, hunger will keep stealing futures in your community. Keep this in mind. If you don't rise, children will sit under trees with no books, even by 2030. If you don't act, flood will still continue to sweep homes away, while policies are just on paper, If you don't lend your voice, if you don't use your voice, SDGs will remain a New York conversation in the jams. We need to do this and not in Nigerian reality. And we want it to become a Nigerian reality. The UN can write goals, they can do whatever it is they want to. Government can sign contracts, here and there. But unless you carry it into your streets, into your markets, into your family, it means nothing. It means nothing. So advocacy starts with you, starts with me. Awareness starts with you, and I, starts with you. Basically, starts with you. So if you are on the call, I want you to recite this affirmation with me. I am not waiting for 2030. I start now. I am the change my community is waiting for. Technology is in my hands, but action is in my heart. I will speak for the voiceless. I will use innovation to build, not to destroy. So this particular one is very, very important. I will use innovation to build and not to destroy. No one in my community will be left behind. Very important. No one in my community will be left behind. So when you leave this session today, I'm rounding up, you carry more than knowledge. You carry responsibility. Your responsibility, my responsibility. Remember what I said in the beginning, to turn innovation and technology into weapons that just be slides in a masterclass like this. It will not just be slides. Oh, my network. All right. So if 50 people go back, plant that seed of awareness, the use of tech for advocacy, mobilize action, the SDG will not just be slides in the masterclass. They'll be lived realities. It will be a daily life. People would live it. People would live it, right? We have the technology. I'll try to reiterate. We have the innovation. But what we don't always have is the will. We don't always have the will. And that is what we need, right? Phones, application, data, AI, all these are tools. And they mean nothing if we do not serve the hungry, the poor, the displaced, the voiceless. Technology itself will not change the world. You and I will. We are the ones that can do the change, right? So if innovation is not a tool, then your voice, your courage, and your choices are the hand that builds it. The SDG is not a government project. It's a people project. Have that in mind. The SDG is not just a government. It's a people project. So I'm going to leave you with this final note as I close. I'm going to leave you with this. You are not waiting for 2030. 2030 is waiting for you. 2030 is waiting for you, not you waiting for 2030. So yeah, that's my final, take for you. I hope this session has been insightful and you've been able to learn one, two things on how you can use innovation and technology to drive the change that you want to see. Thank you very much. My end. Thank you for the opportunity to also speak. I really appreciate you for reaching out to me and all of that. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you very much, Christiana. That was really, really detailed. And thank you for taking us through the topic, innovation and technology for sustainable development, in a really affirmative way that shows us how we can use technology and innovation to initiate the change we want to see. And also, thank you very much for that call to action. We need to act now. We need to stop sitting aloof and waiting for change, but we need to take action now. Thank you very, very much. We indeed appreciate your time and insight. That was very, very detailed. Thank you so much. And I'm pretty sure, yes, the comments are coming in on the chat on YouTube. Thank you very much. It was indeed insightful. Because honestly, we have even lost just keep on hearing, but we are running out of time. And indeed, the session was inspiring and very, very, very affirmative. Thank you so much. Well, I'll just say we should put in our key takeaways for this section in the chat, because I believe she did justice to the topic. And if there are any questions, you can also drop them in. Maybe we'll take just one because of time, but you can bring in your key takeaway for this section before we call in our second speaker. Thank you very much, Ms. Christiana. Once again, we indeed appreciate you and the insights you shared with us today. All right, well, the key takeaways are coming in the chat on our YouTube. Yes, a whole lot of thank yous. Thank you so much. Yes, so I'll just want us to add on to the second section because we are really, really running out of time. We are running out of time. So anyways, let's use our chat to keep engaging while I introduce the second speaker to come on for the next topic. All right. Yes, so I'll be introducing our second speaker who will be taking us through the second topic on project management for social impact. And yes, trust me, our first speaker has blown us away with a whole lot of insights. And I'm sure this second section as well, we are in for detailed information as well. All this had to help us as change makers to actually implement the desired change we need to see in our environment locally and globally. So I'm introducing Mr. Ojuoluwa Oluwatobiloba, the Director of Project and Strategy for SDSN Youth Nigeria. And he fosters solid partnerships with organizations, secures grants, oversees implementations of projects that promote sustainable agriculture and rural development in Nigeria and beyond. Additionally, he serves as a Global Schools Program Advocate for the United Nations Sustainable Development Solutions Network, that's the SDSN, and a worldwide initiative that supports schools in incorporating the Sustainable Development Goals, as well as education for sustainable development into their curricula. So make welcome Mr. Ojuoluwa Oluwatobiloba as he takes us through the topic, project management for social impact. Thank you. Over to you, Mr. Toby.
All right, thank you so much, Oluwatoyin, and good morning, good afternoon, good evening to wherever you are joining this call. Oluwatoyin, please kindly confirm if I'm very, very audible, and our participants will also confirm that.
Yes, yes, please.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. And firstly, I would like to celebrate you being a part of this Cohort 7 of the SDG Advocate Programme. Really, it's a big deal to be a part of this particular initiative. I also want to thank our network, our country director in person of Professor Diaka and the council of this particular great organization. I want to see this as a privilege to be a part of this movement. I also want to thank our network coordinator and all the team working on that scene to see that we bring us this. I want to thank Mr. Mayowa for the good works he's doing alongside with the team. All right, as earlier introduced, I'm Oluwatobiloba Ojuoluwa. And yeah, today we'll just be talking, and definitely I want this to be very, very interactive. It's so painful that I can't hear your voice, you can only hear me, but it's all right. We'll be talking around project management for social impacts. I believe the word project management, it is even self-explanatory from the word projects and management. So simply means that managing a project, right? But you know, the word social impacts is now looking, okay, where are we now going to? But definitely through this class, we'll be able to demystify what it means to manage, you know, projects in the space to which we are. I believe we all know that the SDGs cut across all sectors, all parastatals. So if you are working in the real estate, there is a space for you, Go 11. If you are working in the health sector, you know, you have Go 13, Go 3. If you are working in the environmental sector, you have a goal, you have a place. So if you are a farmer, you have a place as well too. So it's not leaving no one, it's leaving no one behind. And that is why this particular topic is quite very important that we understand. So now project management is simply planning. You know, when you talk about project management, you are talking about planning. You are talking about proper management. You are talking about execution. You are talking about following in total. You know, running projects, following a procedure to achieve a goal. So, which simply means that project management or a project manager is like someone that wants to cook. So if you want to cook, no matter how good you are, or no matter how beautiful a salt is, if it is not, and if it does not have the support of palm oil, if you don't have the support of, maybe you want to use okra or you want to use ogbono for as many that cook ogbono very well. So you know, you need all. So project management, your project is the soup, but the system to which you accomplish that cooking is the management, which is called the project management. So before you can attain you having a soup, you would have a need of your water, you would have a need of your kitchen. Yes, you would have a need even of your pots. So there's no way how skillful you are. Go and ask Ida Basi. No matter how beautiful that award may be, she needs a pot. So what do I mean? Simply means that you must robustly plan to see that you achieve, you know, project management, as it were. So now, project management for social impact. Now, the word social impact simply means that you are working towards a profit. But this time around, the profit is not money. So please, if you are running an NGO, for instance, because I believe that many of the people over time, we've been able to know that many of the people, you know, coming on board on this particular project, they are NGO leaders. But the beautiful part of it is that your profit is the impact that you are making, the positive change that is coming to the people. So don't believe that I'm doing an NGO, I'm not doing profit. No, that's a big lie. Your profit is the change that you are bringing to a society. So because if you are not profit-minded, you will do the project anyhow. And if you do the project anyhow, the essence to which why the project is coming on board may really not be accomplished. All right. So by the end of this course, you'll be able to apply project management skills to your projects. I am believing that I'm talking to professionals. So you'll also be able to design, execute, and evaluate for impact, like I said the other time. And you also be able to balance efficiency with empathy. Thank you so much. Please go to the next slide. All right. Now, for you to know, or for us to have a unique project that is impact driven, number one thing is that it must be purpose driven. Now, let me even do that now. Just type on the chat box now the project that you are on at the moment and why are you doing that project. Please just draft for us the project you are doing at the moment. It could be at your organizational level, maybe your personal project, your NGO project. Just type in the chat box and what's brought about it. Why are you doing it? So if the why of a thing is not known, it is possible that there won't be sustainability in that your project. And that is why I would just like to make an example of if a nation, for instance, Nigeria, is trying to copy a project, maybe because it was seen outside. Most of the time it's not that it is needed for us, but because we just have to do a project. That is why we are doing it. It may not last the test of time. And that is why, as leaders, it is very important for us that we are purpose-driven. Now, purpose will now lead us to needs. Thank God we'll be going to that. So there will be a need. Why am I doing what I'm doing? I used to ask myself, why am I doing what I'm doing? If the why of a thing is not defined, then the how, the what, and the where will not be known. And this is also same for project management. Now, by the time you now discover the why, you now begin to know the gaps. Then you now begin to know the complex stakeholders. We have the primary stakeholders, we have the secondary stakeholders, we even have the tertiary stakeholders. You now know, okay, who do I need to bring on board? So, I have a lot of people coming to my DM. Oh, sir, thank you for the good works that you do in our communities, even in the NGO space, particularly for young people. I said, oh, thank you. So please, we have a project, blah, 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 blah. Please, who are the stakeholders? Sincerely speaking, if you know the why of a project, you should be able to define immediately the stakeholders. All right, let's move forward because of our time. Now, don't forget that when we talk about climate, for instance, climate may simply not mean the physical weather. So simply means that you must understand the nature and the climate of your project. So because every project has a climate, simply means you must understand the risk. So you must prepare for risk management. Oh, imagine today I've been called upon to come and speak, and unfortunately the network went gaga. What happens? What will the team lead or the organizing team, what will they do to see that, they still keep the conversation going? What happens? So you must prepare for risk management. Sincerely, things will happen. not even in this part of the world that we are, that you can't even predict things. So it is part of the project. And lastly, again, is the unique impact, the unique nature of social impact is that sustainability. See, any project that cannot transcend you is not worth doing. Yes, of course, don't forget that there are terms of project. We have the long-term project, we have the short-term project, and we even have the middle-term project. Now, your short-term project should be futuristic, that it is aligning with a long-term project. I pick that again. Your short-term project that you are doing now, maybe for instance, you want to take off the Almajiris off the streets for proper education. Now, the end goal is to, number one, reduce crime. I mean, the long-term goal is to reduce crime, to also reduce vulnerability. Number three is to see that they also have purpose in life. So, but the short term to that is maybe out of school, evacuating them out of the streets. So you must be able to, in total, define all of this. It's quite very important that we put this into checkmating. Like I said the other time, is like you cooking. So you can't say, oh, because you know how to cook or you want to cook anyhow, and what you need to have done last, you are doing it first. Yes, you are cooking, but I can tell you, this another person that follows the right procedure will have good aroma. You know, it will look intriguing than you just doing it anyhow. Whereby, you know, we've seen a lot of people cooking. You see water this side, you see melon the other side, you see oil this side. Now that is just to tell you that there is disorganization even in that cooking. So same thing happens when you run a project without proper planning, without proper management. You just notice that everywhere is scattered all around. All right, let's move forward to the next. Thank you. So what are the core phases of social impact project management? The first thing is initiation and needs assessment. You know, I think I made mention of it the other time. Core phases. If there is no reason why you are doing a project, please just go and just keep learning or support an existing project. Support an existing project rather than you creating more problems. Do you know there are a lot of solutions that we say we are doing presently that there are problems even in disguise? Why? Because of the fact that they are not needed for that particular area. Now, let me just give us, if I think this story has gone viral, and most of the time when we talk about social impact projects, these are one of the examples that is being narrated. So there's this community, a community whereby a researcher came into that community, and that researcher noticed that, oh, they used to go miles before they fetch water. And you know where they also fetch that water, so the researcher had to trace them to that place. And they noticed that, oh, this place is not neat. You know, there could be waterborne diseases, there could be pipe, you know, there could be a lot of pollutions into that water, even from the other community. And you know, with the good hearts of this researcher, this person said, oh my God, we need a borehole in this community. Meanwhile, the road to that community is also not good. So, but because of the passion that guy had, he went ahead and secured a grant and came back to the community, not even asking the community, what do you need? But indeed, he has been able to cite a problem, but there are problems inside that community. And this guy came to the community and dug a borehole. In fact, had an overhead tank where they can store water. And beautiful part is that he also gave them a generator. It was a solar powered water system. So this guy went, he came with his team, they did it, and he went back. 6 months later, he came back to that same community. Did you know that since the day they inaugurated and did the ceremony, they did not touch that water? It was after that day they touched the water. So this guy was like, what's happening? Are you guys caused? He was so curious. And he began to question what happened, what's happening, what happened. And he had to organize a town hall meeting. And if you see the excuse to which these guys gave, it will amaze you. The elders said the time the children go to the stream to fetch water, between that time, those are the time they have for their spouse. Why? Because they are always busy, So when those children, they all go en massively, and between the time they go and between the time they come back, that's the only time they used to have fun with themselves. So this man coming to now create a borehole within the community is like, oh, really? You don't want us to have time for our wives anymore, right? So they have to go to that well, to that borehole, and lay the course that anybody, I know you must be laughing there, anybody that fetches water here, this, and that will happen. Yes, of course, it's a myopic mindset. But the truth remains that the researcher did not ask the community. So there's a need for needs assessments. Yes, there are problems, but you need to understand that there are priorities in problem. So first thing is that you need to do a survey. Is this really a problem? Don't forget that, in fact, we are also preaching now on glocalization. Simply means local solution that can be adopted globally. So there are a lot of solutions that are coming to us right now that they are not even necessary for our area. We don't need it. Maybe not now. You get it? They may not be speaking to our client. So if we introduce such a solution, sincerely speaking, it will not be sustainable. Why? Because maybe it's not the problem of that area. So needs assessment is very key, is very important. It's very important towards projects management, particularly when it comes to social impacts. We must know. So simply means that we can
Sorry, I think we lost the audio. You can hear us. Sorry, our speaker will be back shortly. Probably network issues. Apologies for the breaking transmission. So before he comes back, we can just still think on some of the things he has explained so far on implementing a project, ensuring we identify the risk, needs assessment, which is a very critical approach to understanding what we need to do, what projects what approach we need to do in carrying out any project that we intend to carry out in any place. And we should ensure that we are not creating another problem in disguise of creating a project, which is very, very, very key. So let me get to see if we can get him back on the call. All right, Mr. Toby, good to have you back. You can hear me?
Oh, yes, I can hear you now. So sorry, apologies for my network.
That's fine. You're welcome.
All right. Yeah, thank you. So yes, so now you need to make sure that you come up with a short questionnaire to know what the exact problem is, and you understand the gap to which you are filling. Number two is planning and design. So it's very important that, see, I wonder many times that many of us don't even have a concrete document for our projects. So it's very important that we come up with a robust plan in total of how a step by step of how we want to achieve the goal. So from the beginning of the project, you have what we call KPI, that's key performance index. You will know the metrics to mark if why, because your project we have an objective, right? So your project we have an objective. Oh, by the end of this project, we want to build 10 schools. By the end of this project, 2,000 students will be able to do this. Now, your KPI to know that, oh, we are in line with achieving our project may be, for instance, 20% school attendance increment, reduction, 30% reduction on children out of school. I mean, on the street, rather. So you should have your objectives, and there should be what we call your KPI. So call phases is one of it is planning and design. Another one, the next after planning and design should be execution and implementation. Definitely, we'll also still be talking about budgeting. We should be able to also budget. There should be a budget to your project. Of course, we would do that in detail. I know I have limited time, but I would try and make sure that I manage my time to this. Now, we have what we call monitoring and evaluation. In fact, as a matter of fact, you should have officers in charge of all of these phases. You should have an M&E that will help you in tracking, following up. So I will use my own project as a beautiful example. By the time as an example, so there was I started a project on Revive the School Garden Initiative. in the year 2022. And so, this project was actually born out of the fact that I saw that agriculture is being taught theoretically in school. So, and I now thought of bridging the gap of students having to always wait for white collar jobs, while secondary school can begin to imbibe the lifestyle of preparing them for the world ahead. And secondly, one of the objectives of that project is that I also want to see that we begin to allow schools to be a part of food production. So simply means that because school is a community, then as a community, a school system should be able to be a part of solving food crisis and supporting food security at everywhere and at every point in time. So that is one of those. Those are one of those the objectives of that project. And so, because I understand the fact that monitoring and evaluation is quite very important, before we started, I already, out of the volunteers, I already say, oh, you are this, you are that. Part of the key officers in that team is the monitoring and evaluation. See, all you just need to do is from the beginning. See, many of the times we think that monitoring and evaluation is after you have been able to execute your project. No, your monitoring or your evaluation, your MIN officer should be a part of the starting. They should help to start. Why? Because we already have what we are measuring. So from the beginning, for instance, now this program that you are in now, we are measuring the growth. We are measuring what we already put in place. Oh, 5,000 people applied. Oh, how do we know that this program is still making a lot of sense? Why? Because we have begun to hear a lot of good testimonies about this program. Let me not deceive you, I'm also a part of the Cohort 1 of this particular initiative. So now, if this program is not meaningful, then today I will not be here in terms of coming back to now give back to you. Are you getting it now? So one way or the other, the aim of this project is being achieved one way or the other. Now, another thing before we go into the main call is closure and sustainability. Like I said the other time, there's what we call project closing. So project closing is quite different from reporting. You must close every project. Why? Because a project is time bound. You must understand it, that a project it is a must that you must have a time for a project, either be it a short term, either be it a long term, either be it a middle term project. So there must be time bound for every project. Just like the example I've been using, cooking, is not possible that you cook from morning to night. Then, in fact, if you are cooking from morning to night, that simply means that morning to night is the time for your cooking. So your project must be time bound. You can't just be loose about time when it comes to project management. Please let us go to the next slide because of our time. Next slide, please. All right. I think I've been able to help out with this. But to add to what this place is telling us is that I think I overheard very well the other time the other speaker was talking about aligning our project tailoring towards SDGs and national priorities. It is a must. See, any project that we are doing now that is not aligning to the SDGs, probably we are not yet ready. Why? Is because, as we all know, that the SDGs is not just for some people. It is designed to bring about a change globally. So your project must also align to what the world is speaking about, what your country is also working around. We can't be doing different things and the country is aligning to another way. There will be conflict of interest. So simply means that your project must align, make sure that your project is aligning towards the SDG, either from SDG 1 to SDG 17. Just make sure that your project has an indicator and a target to which is solving within the 239, indicators and target and 69 targets. So it is a must that we align it towards the SDGs. So of course, there should also be a theory that helps to to shape your project. Now here I made mention of theory of change. Yes, problem theory. So problem 3, there are a lot of theories. So simply means that by the time you understand the needs, then you still need to also go online and check history. Oh, what now notice that there is nothing new under the sun. See, no solution we are bringing on board that has never happened before. So, but it may happen in different way, but I can assure you there's nothing new under the sun. All right, please let's move forward because of our time. So now let's move over to planning and design. You must understand that you must set a SMART goal. Please, I believe this word SMART is not new. So please just go to the chat box now and tell me what SMART simply means. SMART. Now, simply means that the word S simply means that it must Olatoyin, please can you tell me what the people are saying over there so that at least I know that they are following up?
All right. I'm yet to see specific definitions. Okay, someone said S specific. S sustainable.
Yes.
Someone said M measurable.
Measurable.
Someone said wise decision.
Wise decision, all right. So what is A? Attainable, right?
Project has
simply.
Okay.
Exactly. All right, please just keep it coming. So we might have.
Yeah, A, achievable. R, relevant. Time bound. Yeah, so. A, someone also said attainable.
We have a specific audience we are targeting. Oh, our project is for people with disabilities. So you must be specific. Simply means it must be measurable. Don't forget the other time I said it must be measurable. Measurable simply means that, oh, as I see it, I know that, oh, this is what we want to achieve within so time. Don't forget the place of KPI as well too. Oh, 30% of businesses or houses will switch over to solar by 2030. It is measurable. Now, let me quickly tell us, I was part of those that drafted the NDC 3.0. And the NDC 3.0 for Nigeria is that by the year 2030, we don't want to use generator anymore. I know someone will be laughing, but don't worry, that is what the country is looking towards, whereby we all go renewable. We are all going renewable. So it is measurable. We can measure it. By so time, this is what we want to achieve. Now, attainable. Attainable. Is it realistic? Is it attainable? Is it doable, particularly within the specific time you have allotted for that project? So you must design your project towards an attainable possibilities. It must come towards attainable. Now, attainment simply means that the resources on ground, do you have the fund to achieve what you have written down? Do you have the human capacity to achieve it? Do you have, you must check a whole lot to see that you are driving towards achieving your goal. Is this achievable? So you can also use achievable in the place of attainable. They are still the same thing. Now, the R's. So is your project reliable? Is it realistic? Are you getting it now? So it must be realistic. It must be realistic. That stuff, is it necessary for Kano State? Is it necessary for that particular locality? It must be reliable. It must be realistic. Now, the word T simply means that it must be time bound. So you must be time conscious. You must be time conscious. So there's no time when you need to set up a meeting, set up your meeting. When you need to reach out to your speaker, reach out to your speaker. When you need to print this, print it. Why? Because if you don't print it today, it will affect the task for tomorrow. So you must be very time conscious. Time management is one of the key quality of a project manager. It is not comfortable, it is not convenient, but make sure that you work towards your time. My time is also going. As a project manager, I also need to manage my time even in this class. All right. So build a result framework. Your inputs, anything you are putting in place must give you impact. If it is not giving you impact, then it is not driving towards a positive change. Another thing is that budget for activities. Like I said the other time, you must plan for budget even while you have never even started your projects. So it is possible, or it is better you do what we call survey, or our women call it window shopping, right? Make sure you make calls. Oh, how much is all? How much is this? Don't assume. Make sure you get a rough estimate and you impute it inside that document. Now, you can, in fact, for as many of us that cannot use various tools, you can use Excel. We have various tools that we can use now. We have what's the name of this guy? Yeah, we have Grant charts. We have why did I forget this name? Log frame. So there are even tools that has come nowadays that can even help you to time yourself, to build in, or it can even help you to do a lot of reminder. We have Google's Workspace. We have lot of them. Just go online, you will see lots of all of these tools. Please go to the next slide because of our time. We need to speed up. Now, Execution. So like I said the other time, you put all of those things in place. Now you must have a work plan. Now your part of planning is the work plan. I said the other time you can have an Excel. So make sure that you are putting your dates in all of this. Oh, Monday 10th, September 2025, we are sending a letter to all our stakeholders. Make sure that you are executing that very day. Who is doing the follow-up? Make sure you set up who is doing the follow-up of speakers management. You make sure that someone is in charge of facility management. You are setting up all of those things in order. It will help you so that there won't be story for gods, and it will even make you look so professional. Do you know that by the end of this class, many of you will become a corporate professional event or project manager, whereby they want to do what cleanup day. All they just need to do is come to you. You would help them set it up. I do that a lot for organizations and even for events. So all they need to do is, we have this event, they bring it to me. Who needs to be in place and the like. So execution, of course, you need to definitely lead. We need to lead with flexibility. Like I said the other time, there will be a lot of issues. There will be time that your volunteers, particularly for us that we use volunteers, your volunteers will say, this I know they do anymore. I'm even sick today. What will you do? So please let us be flexible. Let us lead with flexibility and adapt to change. See, if you are in this our space and you don't know how to adapt to change, we are not ready for it. You must be ready to adapt to change. And another thing is that inclusion is very important. Please, your communication must be very clear. Your communication must be very, very clear. If you are assigning a role to someone, please ensure that you are going through a very clear communication. Quite very important, so that you won't have a lot of lags or gap when it comes to communications. Please, very important that we communicate well as regards our role, assigning roles or assigning responsibility to people. Another thing is that we must also ensure that we come about transparency, particularly when it comes to resources. See, there are a lot of funders that they will get funding. Maybe someone supported and nobody will know. No, it should not be of us. It's not good for project management. It's not good, particularly for social impact, because people are not even earning that much. Maybe people are coming to you as volunteers. Make it known to them, we have received 10,000 naira, and this 10,000 naira, this is how it was spent. It's very good because they will trust in your leadership. And even for project managers, it's quite very important. And receipt is very important. Receipt, make sure that you request for receipt. It's not bad. You are not stingy because you need to retire your accounts. We spoke about project closure the other time. So you need to retire your accounts. Maybe a project that requires we spending naira, we spending this. Make sure that it is well stated. Not all stuff that you get receipt, but make sure that your bank is also showing it. You put a narration. For food, for instance, for snacks, make sure that you put narration. Please, let's move forward because of our time. We are behind the schedule. All right. For monitoring and evaluation, don't forget, before we started, we have what we call pre-assessment, right? Whereby we got the problem. Now, that pre-assessment will now help us because that is where data collection begins. Data collection begins even as you start your project. Now, in monitoring and evaluation now, let's assume that your project is a 6-month project, for instance. At the 3rd month, you should be able to also carry out another assessment to see if there have been any improvements. Let's take, for instance, you want to run a training on sustainable fashion of sustainable waste management. Between your first month and your third month, you should be able to know the knowledge gap if there have been an improvement between that last 1 month or thereabouts. So, of course, this will now depend on how many months do we want to use for this project. So it's quite very important that you continually get data. And number 2 is you track inputs, not just outputs. It's very important. Begin to track your inputs as well too. Yes, output is output is easily seen. You can, oh wow, they've not painted our school, now they can paint our school. But the question is, how many paints is going? When we were planning that project, we put 10 paints, but now we are using 20 paints. What is happening? So you track your input as well. Another thing is that include community feedback loops. Hear from people. Yes, because if you are just an online or you just want to be hearing what people are, the good part, make sure you are ready to hear the sincere parts of what the people are saying about your project. Be ready to receive both the positive and the negative. The negative is not because they hate you, it's because they want the betterment of that project. So please don't always be keen to after we finish this project, everybody has been saying, please be sincere. Let's be sincere with people that are also ready to tell us the truth. Oh, sir, you did not do well. And why is because you did not carry us along. It may be jokingly, and many people don't even know how to say it well, but receive it with good faith and improve on it. I mean, that's the most important thing. Another thing is that, like I said the other time, outcomes and dashboard. Oh, now I can know that I'm off my time. All right. I'll begin to wrap up now. Output mappings, that is outcome mappings. So like I said the other time, your KPI should be showing green. Anywhere it's not showing green simply means you need to go and do something. There's something that is missing already. You have your KPI, so your KPI you should be able to match it up with your objective and the output. That is where you will know your outcome mappings. Now the last one is closure and sustainability. Like I said, document lesson learned. So it simply means that reporting is very important, note taking is very important, and don't forget the place of community bonding. Why? Because your project should not be just once upon a time. It should be continuum. Simply means that whenever you are planning of a project, you are planning of a community, and your community should bet a network. Your network should bet a movement. So simply means that you are not just coming to that space, do something and leave them that way. No, there must be a sustainability plan to always come back over and over and over and again. So let's take, for instance, you are digging a borehole, come back again. Oh, after the borehole, what else can we do to improve the livelihood of these people? Oh, let's start a pure water factory. Let's take, for instance. So, just make sure that you are still around the community. And once again, is that you must keep improving on knowledge sharing. So, for instance, the way I've been able to, share this knowledge with you, whatsoever lessons you've learned from your organization, make sure you also share it across to smaller groups. And from there, we begin to expand the more. And at the end of the day, you will just notice that you are profitable. Like I said the other time, for every project, you should be profit oriented. But for us in the social impact space, we are not money oriented. When it comes to our profit, it is impact, positive impact, that is our home profit. So even in social impact projects, you can lose if you are not matching up, or if your project is bringing negative change rather than bringing positive change. I believe that there are a lot of questions that we would have as regards what we've been able to teach ourselves today. I will be really open to receive our questions, but more importantly, beyond our questions, is I want us to go back to also go and check the loopholes that we have. Please make sure you block all loopholes and do the needful so that the project you are doing, the project I'm doing, can meet up the 2030 agenda. Now, the truth is that the SDG is showing that we are just 17%. And not just 17%, we are 147 out of 167 countries. Now, are we progressing? And there are a lot of projects out there. Me, I'm doing projects. There are a lot of projects out there. But another point is that we are not reporting well. There is no traceability. We can't track what we are doing. So please, I'm using this as a closing remark for us that as from henceforth, reporting is also a part of your project, and you must close it well so that your funders or your potential funder can see the viability of becoming a part of the solution you are bringing to the world. And thank you so much for giving this opportunity to speak with these great change makers that are ready to bring about the change in our world. And this begins with you. The change begins. You are not a volunteer, you are a change maker. And thank you so much. I'll be here waiting. Of course, there is an exercise. There is an exercise for us. Please just go back to that call to action. So, all right. So now move from outputs to systemic impacts. Like I said, it must be traceable. Integrate equity, inclusion, and sustainability. No group is useless. No one is useless on any project. Don't say, I don't need him. I don't need him. Oh, I need experts. See, the person that is not expert has something to contribute. So communities are partners, not beneficiaries. Like I said the other time, see yourself as someone working with and not working for. It will solve a lot of problems to see immersion. That's what we call project immersion, whereby by the time you go, they take ownership of that project. And that's the beauty of every project. So project management for social impact is not just about managing projects, it's about managing change. Change begins with me. Thank you so much. And I'm glad to be a part of this wonderful presentation this afternoon. Thank you, everyone.
Interesting. Thank you so much, Mr. Oluwatobiloba. But our speakers came prepared for us today. Like, they gave us real interesting insights. Thank you so much for the detailed information in regards to project management for social impact, and letting us know that yes, planning is a core necessity, and we also need to ensure that we don't create projects just for creating projects, only to now create another problem. We should ensure that whatever projects we are creating, we're actually creating it to make impact. And we have those key tools we need to follow through. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the insights. I'm pretty sure, yes, from the chat, I can see that a lot of people enjoyed today's section. And yes, you can drop your key takeaways for the 2 sections we had today, because we are short of time, so we might not be able to take much questions. But if there are any, maybe we can just take one. But I believe speakers did justice. From innovation is the spark, technology is the engine, equity and sustainability are the steering wheel. So we need to act now. And then our project management speaker also said we need to ensure that we don't look at anybody as not being important in the project as well. We need to carry everyone along in our project and document, report well. Thank you very much for those insights. We really do appreciate your time. And yeah, thank you. Well done to you all. So I'll quickly be calling on Mr. Boston to be taking us through the information section shortly. Thank you.
Yeah, hello. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon. Welcome.
Thank you. Once again, we have come to the end of this week Masterclass session, and I'm sure this Masterclass session today is a bomb. You know? It's very hot and very, very interesting, and I know that we all enjoyed ourselves. We learned a lot from this masterclass session today, and it is time for us to have a rethink, to recharge, and to refocus that innovation matters when technology solves real community challenges, and also good project management turns ideas into lasting social impact. And we should try and listen to the following announcements. As we always say here, attendance is very, very important, and the attendance link will be shared via emails and the WhatsApp group. So try and fill the attendance form. Try and always stay active, always stay updated by checking your emails and WhatsApp regularly for informations. And also the group chat rule remains. You are expected to join only one group chat. And also, our participation will be tracked. Don't forget to study at least 2 SDGs academic courses, and always try and make a social media post of what you have learned today. And we should know that together we grow stronger and create impact. Then we are coming close to the end of the phase 1 of this program. So in preparation for the phase 2, last time we talked about, we announced about the Own a School project, and we are still talking on it today again. The Own a School project is an individual project. It's not a collective project. It's a project carried out by an individual. You understand? It's an assignment to be carried out by individual advocates. So an advocate is expected to identify a school, whether private or public school, it will be primary or secondary school, within 5 kilometers of his or her residence or workplace. And you are expected to go there to carry out advocacy by introducing the SDGs to the students and the staff there, and also explaining the roles of these SDGs, and also and so forth. And then the key guidelines, as you can see from the screen, from my screen being shared, 1 school, 1 advocate. No 2 advocates is to select the same school. 1 school, 1 advocate. And the project should be simple but impactful, and it should be cost-free. Though you could have your own personal support, there are some little, expenses you may do here and there, but avoid huge expenses. And it is important to note that the Own a School project is compulsory. It is something that you must do in order for you to graduate. It is compulsory alongside the community project. And before you start the Own a School project, a formal letter of introduction will be provided. It will be sent to your email. You will download it, print it, and take it to the school where you have identified. You will present it to the head teacher or the principal there, and the school authority will give you a time, an approved time, where you can go and have your advocacy. Then also, our advocates have started joining different state WhatsApp group. The links were shared via email and via the SDGs WhatsApp group, and so many of you are beginning to join different state groups. You are expected to join only 1 state group. Don't say I reside in Lagos, but I am from Sokoto, and you decide to to join Lagos and Sokoto. No. Join only the state group, only one state group where you are residing. Where you are residing, and you'll be able to carry out your own school project advocacy and also to carry out the collective community project. So join only one state group, and also each state group is expected to appoint a state team lead. Each state group, Lagos WhatsApp group is supposed to appoint a team lead for that state. Other states are supposed to do the same. So you will have your own discussions on your WhatsApp platform, so that you will decide how to choose. Is it by poll? Is it by voting through the WhatsApp poll, or by normal nomination, whatsoever? Any way that each of the states can use to appoint a state team lead. Because the state team lead will be the official voice and representative of that state. So you are expected to do that from now till tomorrow, Saturday. So tomorrow, Saturday is the deadline. So please ensure that immediately after the masterclass session, let the discussion start and you begin to appoint your state team leads. And so, then also, another rule again for this state WhatsApp group is that the only official language that is recognized is English language. So please don't go and begin to speak your local dialect, begin to speak your in any other language. Only English language is allowed, and avoid the use of abusive languages. Avoid the use of foul languages. Please take note. Then also coming to the community project for state groups, which is part of the phase 2, we will soon enter in 2 weeks' time. The community project for the state group is as compulsory, very compulsory, just like the Own a School project. The only difference is that Own a School project is an individual project, while community project is a collective project by that particular state. So every state group is expected to execute, is expected to design and implement a mini SDG project in their community. And these are the key expectations. First of all, you focus on a real local challenge linked to the SDGs. So each state is supposed to focus on a real local challenge linked to the SDGs, you address the pressing local issue linked to one or more SDGs, like hygiene, clean water, quality education, and so on and so forth. And you are expected to work together under your state team lead. You are expected to plan, act, and document your impact. So you will submit a proposal. When the proposal is approved, you will implement it. Then you document the activities in form of a report. You will be sent the report template. You will arrange your report and expect to submit it. Very, very important. And the timeline is within 4 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks. So the dates, the specific dates is contained in the program guide sent to your emails. So go back to your previous emails and check the program guide sent to you there. So remember that great change makers are not born. They are made through courage, consistency, and action. Every step you take today is shaping the future we all dream of. And here is the QR code for today's attendance. So you can quickly scan it or copy the link below the QR code so that you can fill your today's attendance form. Remember, consistency, engagement, collaboration, and application are all keys to a successful and impactful training. Always remember that the journey to real transformation starts with your actions today. Thank you. Enjoy a restful and inspiring weekend. You deserve it. Over to you, Oluwatoyin.
Thank you very much, Mr. Augustine. Yeah, thank you. All right, I think we can come to now. And yeah, thank you all to our facilitators, attendees, participants, yeah, for making this section a wonderful one. See you all in the final masterclass section next week. All right, have a great weekend ahead. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Augustine. Yeah, thank you. All right.